Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for a linguistic roller coaster as we delve into the digital coliseum where Dr. Umar Johnson, a modern-day oratorical gladiator, brandishes his verbal sword in the arena of potential debate with Andrew Schulz.
I haven't debated him. I need to make sure that I get more out of it than him.
Yeah.
For reasons you just said.
Right.
He's benefited from Charlamagne's platform.
Right.
I have a very strong following.
Right. Right.
I can't afford for him to benefit from mine.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Because the European is all about exploitation.
Yes.
Even there's an agenda behind him wanting to debate me.
Yes.
That supersedes his ego.
Yes.
It's financial.
Yes.
It's political.
Yes.
You follow what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
I don't know who he connected to.
Yes.
Give me the full plate. Let me see exactly what you about. Now, if he can't, if Schulz called me right now and said, I want to debate you and I'm going to give you $1 million to restore your school, let's get it popping. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. But I am not going to debate a no-namer.
Right.
Because for me, he's a no-namer. I never knew him before Charlamagne, as you said.
That's how
I'm not wasting no time with no-namer if I'm not going to get something out of it.
Right.
Even if he pull up a $500,000, $250,000, I'm ready now.
I
don't need no prep. Let's go. But if you think I'm going to give you the benefit of my following, my platform, my position, and I ain't getting nothing out of it but the conversation with a nobody, no.
And see, and that's what
it's not mutable by the white power structure.
Yeah.
In other words, when you say we want to destroy Dr. Umar, you can't go to no university. I don't work for him.
Right.
You can't go to no school district. I don't work for him.
Right.
You can't go to Minister Farrakhan. I'm not in that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Who? You can't go to the NAACP. He's not that.
Right.
You can't go to the Masons. He ain't one.
Right.
You can't go to the Elks. You can't go to the Greeks.
Yeah.
You can't go to a black church.
Right.
Who in the hell can we reach out to to pull Dr. Umar's collar?
Right.
Nobody.
Exactly.
And my power base is my people.
Yeah.
This is critical because when you look at a lot of our hip hop artists, although they're from the hood, some of them still in the hood, their power base is the major music industries, the conglomerate.
Right.
And since most mainstream hip hop is purchased by non-Africans, they require some degree of complicity because you don't want to alienate your white base.
Right.
Now, we listen to the hip hop more than white folks.
Right.
But we're able to get it through different venues that don't require us to pay for it. You follow what I'm saying? It's not that white folks are listening to hip hop more than us.
No.
We're able to get it without paying for it. You see?
Right.
But in terms of purchasable consumers, the whites are buying it more than us.
The marketplace.
The marketplace.
Right.
So they can be controlled to a degree because you have a white constituency, no different than a black politician.
Right.
My constituency is 100% black.
So, yeah, 100%.
You see, I ain't got no Arab constituents. I ain't got no Anglo-Saxon. I ain't got no Chinese. My power base, to some degree, think almost like me. How do you shut him when he's standing on millions of people who believe what he believes? You can't. That's the issue with people like Schulz because they're so used to making one phone call
and killing it. So what he understands is because he's a psychologist. So what he understands is, see, this dude he's stealth. He's got.
And you know what else I learned? He studies me.
Yeah, he studies
meticulous.
Study. He knows.
Yeah.
But and so he's a psychologist. So when he talks about it, he puts it in a way where, like I said, if you're listening and you don't know any better, or you don't know for yourself, or you don't go research for yourself, he puts it in a way where it's like, whoa, whatever he was just talking about, that must be true. Like, that guy must not know what he's talking about. You know, and so I just think it's something there that just needs to be addressed. But your message, that's what I was going to say. What I think is going on is that he understands that. Well, not only him, people, because I'll take it off shows. Some people understand that, so what they know is and so what you're saying is that people tend to twist that.
They twist my message in order to render it so ridiculous
to be ineffective.
So people don't listen any further. See, Schulz's agenda is to stop people people from listening to my message.
Right.
Because he knows that it's so politically potent. So what I'm going to do is misrepresent what the man is saying and make it look so diabolical that when I tell people what he stands for, they will be gullible enough to believe what I said and not go and see for themselves.
Yeah, and that's what Charlamagne told him. Hey, did you even watch the interview? Well, he said, man, I watched the first 8 minutes and knew he was full of shit. I couldn't even get through it.
He's jealous.
Yeah. So that's jealousy. That's a whole, man, that's a show.
Yeah.
But moving now.
This saga unfolds as Dr. Umar Johnson, a modern-day oracle of wisdom, navigates the labyrinth of potential debate with Andrew Schulz, a verbal pugilist in the arena of ideas. In the vast expanse of the digital amphitheater, Dr. Umar, like a sage from the ancient oracle of Delphi, voices his reluctance to engage in intellectual combat with Schulz. His reservations stem from a belief that Schulz, the beneficiary of Charlamagne's platform largesse, seeks to harvest the fruits of this exposure without sowing the seeds of genuine discourse. In the intricate dance of egos and ideologies, Dr. Umar, akin to a chess grandmaster, strategically positions himself, emphasizing his robust following and the potential risk of allowing Schulz to glean undue benefits from his intellectual prowess. It's a strategic maneuver reminiscent of Sun Tzu's Art of War, where the battleground extends beyond words to the very platforms that wield them. The quagmire of potential debate takes an intriguing turn as Dr. Umar introduces the concept of incentives. Like a savvy negotiator in a political chess match, he proposes a hefty $1 million donation to his school as the ante for his participation. It's a financial gambit, echoing the gamesmanship of historic negotiations, where stakes are raised not only in intellectual currency but also in cold, hard cash. Yet, within this labyrinth of negotiation, Dr. Umar draws a line in the sand. He refuses to engage with what he dubs a no-namer or a mere shadow in the intellectual arena. It's a nod to the age-old adage that not all opponents are worthy adversaries, and one must choose battles wisely. His power, he asserts with the regality of an African monarch, lies within the community he serves, untethered to mainstream institutions or external puppeteers. The narrative unfolds with Dr. Umar drawing sharp distinctions between his grassroots power base and the mainstream machinations of hip-hop artists enslaved by major music industries. In the symphony of contrasts, he underscores the purity of his allegiance solely to black individuals who share his beliefs. The echoes of Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa resonate in this declaration, as Dr. Umar positions himself as a torchbearer for a self-determined community. In the chess game of influence and perception, Dr. Umar turns his gaze to Schulz's alleged machinations. Accusing him of artful misrepresentation, Dr. Umar paints a portrait of diabolical manipulation where words are twisted like strands of a dark spell to warp the audience's perception. The narrative becomes a battleground, not just of ideas, but of linguistic dexterity, where Schulz is accused of using his verbal prowess for malevolent intent. Like a lone mariner steering against the currents of mainstream thought, Dr. Umar's message, while resonating with a niche audience, encounters the turbulence of dissent and skepticism in the broader ocean of public discourse. The unpopularity of Dr. Umar's message is rooted, in part, in the radical nature of his ideas. His call for African American economic independence, self-determination, and the establishment of an autonomous educational system challenges established norms. In a society where conformity often reigns supreme, Dr. Umar's unapologetic advocacy for a paradigm shift faces the headwinds of resistance from those comfortable with the status quo. Moreover, the complexity of Dr. Umar's solutions to deep-seated issues compounds the challenge. In a world where simplicity often appeals, the intricacies of his proposals, such as the call for separate educational systems or reparations, may appear as overly ambitious or impractical to a mainstream audience. The intricate brushstrokes of his vision demand a nuanced understanding, a demand not easily met in an era of instant gratification. Dr. Umar's vocal critique of mainstream institutions, particularly within the educational and psychological realms, places him in a position of contrarianism. Society often clings to the familiar, and Dr. Umar's narrative disrupts the comfort of established narratives. This departure from the norm invites backlash from those invested in preserving the status quo, contributing to the unpopularity of his message. Furthermore, the polarizing nature of Dr. Umar's rhetoric cannot be overlooked. In a world where nuanced discussions are often drowned in the cacophony of extreme views, his unapologetic stance on issues such as interracial marriage or his outspoken criticisms of certain societal structures might alienate a portion of the audience. The echoes of controversy that surround his message can act as a double-edged sword, drawing attention but also repelling those unwilling to engage in uncomfortable conversations. The unpopularity of Dr. Umar's message is, in part, a reflection of societal resistance to change. As a torchbearer for transformation, he confronts the inertia of ingrained beliefs and challenges the foundations upon which certain systems are built. His call for a reevaluation of values, systems, and narratives is met with resistance from those invested in the preservation of the existing order. Dr. Umar's diatribe takes a final twist as he recounts the failed attempt of Charlamagne to challenge Schulz's understanding of his message. It's a subplot reminiscent of Greek tragedy, where the mentor attempts to rein in the protege but is met with the defiance of a pupil who has strayed from the philosophical path. In the grand tapestry of intellectual sparring, Dr. Umar Johnson stands as a formidable orator, a guardian of ideals, and a weaver of linguistic spells. As the digital amphitheater reverberates with the echoes of this saga, we witness not just a clash of ideas, but a choreography of power dynamics, incentives, and the age-old struggle for narrative control.